Welcome. I'm Mark Woodward with Wake Bio, and today we're going to be talking about device controllers. So, as you know, we are developing technologies to reversibly preserve organisms. We're starting with zebrafish, but we hope to one day be able to take a terminally ill patient, preserve them at low temperature until their treatment is ready, then wake them up, give them the treatment, and allow them to keep living their lives. So, in this development, we have a number of machines that we've created, and those machines need controllers to control the various things that are plugged into them. Today, I'm going to talk about 4 generic controllers that we've created, the first of which is a stepper controller. So we use this all over the place. We use it to control kind of any sort of linear movement that we have. So the dispensing tip has a linear movement. The fish feeding has a linear stage on it. We also use it to control a precision peristaltic pump that we made. So this is an earlier version of it, but on the back, and this is a precision peristaltic pump. And then also the liquid dispensing, so the syringe pump. There's one back here. This is an earlier version of that syringe pump. I have a video on the whole liquid handling and dispensing if you'd like to see that. So that's the stepper controller. That's really versatile. Then there is a brushed motor controller. So if you have, just a regular peristaltic pump with a brushed motor on the back of it, so less precise, and you just want to run that, which we do for the harvesting of the eggs, of the fish eggs, you could just use this controller. It has, 10 amps per motor, so it's, and up to 24 volts, so quite a lot of power can be driven from that. Or if you just want to, for some reason, drive a regular brushed motor. And then the next one, the third one, is a servo motor controller. So this has 12, can control 12 servo motors. It sends 10 amps to the servos. They can all share that. And, so if there's just some times where it's easy to prototype or, develop with a standard hobby servo motor. So if you're just wanting to control to a certain angle, so that's used. We use that in the vertical dunking, cryo cooler that I had the video on. So that's nice. And then the final one I'll just mention is kind of a prototype controller board. So we are making more specialized controller boards, so not just the generic ones. And you need something to prototype that with. So this is just a prototyping one. You can connect different, sensors and whatnot to this guy. So that's that. The boards are kind of cool. They can stack together. So so you just plug in one of them, and then data and power is sent across them. So that can stack up, which is pretty cool. They communicate over a CAN bus, which is nice. So so you can plug, in an individual machine, you could plug in hundreds of these little controllers. So that's cool. And then they also work with the publish subscribe library that we wrote. I haven't done a video on that. I need to do that sometime. So basically the entire lab runs on a publish subscribe library. So every device machine on it is kind of a node in that network and can subscribe to messages and publish messages. So if you were wanting to just develop something new with one of these, you just plug it into a machine that's on that, and then all of a sudden it's subscribing to messages on the network and publishing to them. So from any one, you can control any other one, which is pretty nice. So it works with that. And then I guess the last thing I'll mention that I think is really cool is that we wrote our own bootloader, and it's a shared bootloader. So all of the devices have the same bootloader on them. The bootloader can communicate over the CAN bus. And so what's really cool about that is you can program the bootloader. So the bootloader is already on there. The main app's running. That app is subscribing to a message that just says, a reboot command. I'm going to program you. A reboot command. So it boots up into the bootloader. The bootloader then is subscribing to programming messages. So it's super nice. So if you have hundreds or thousands of these around in the lab, and you want to update the firmware on, say, all of the motor controllers or all of the stepper controllers, you don't have to go around to each of them and touch them and program. They can be programmed over the CAN bus. So they reboot into the bootloader, then you stream the new firmware over the CAN bus to the bootloader. It writes it and then reboots into it. So that's pretty nice. It's a good system, works well. Thanks for watching.